and then, okay.
Okay. Lorna,
Hello, Alison. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
What's the weather like in Red Hill?
It's very dull.
Well, it's been a glorious day in the south of France. So I'm very happy, Bunny. But we're here to talk about perfume. Perfume? Oh, yes. Um, and this is our luxury box. Alison and I thought we would share with you us smelling through the box because at this time of year we're changing our wardrobes, we're changing stuff. The days are getting longer, and we're thinking, right, spring is approaching, then it's summer, and then do I want a new fragrance? The best way to find out is actually, yes, you can look online, like we've got lots of information, but the best way is to smell them because you need to know what it smells like on your skin and how it develops on your skin type. So we're going to kick off with something very, very special. Now, this is our luxurious box, and we certainly have got a lot of luxurious perfumes in here, starting off with this one. It's Vanille Leather. Okay. Vanille Leather, for me, by David Benedict, BDK. David Benedict is so knowledgeable about perfume. His parents were knowledgeable about perfume, but he also works with amazing perfumers. And it's only Dominic Ropion who did this. Well, it
Really?
is absolutely delicious. Yeah. And it does actually, it's the best of Dominic Ropion. He's really brilliant on white flowers and everything like that. But this is a very sensual fragrance. And there's a little bit of violet in there. There's a pink peppercorn, which makes it stand out. There's orange blossom, absolute in there, gives it a freshness. But of course, Dominic Ropion works beautifully with tuberose, and there's a bit of tuberose in there, drying down to the most delicious and wonderful base notes of Madagascan vanilla, patchouli, oak wood, leather, and a little bit of orris, which I love. So sensual, fantastic. Vanilla leather. If you like vanilla and a little bit of leather, have a go at that one. Next, we're
I
going
think,
to talk.
oh, I was going to say, I think this is incredibly sexy. This one.
Yes, it is.
It
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
It's
And
just,
I'm not even going to talk about the leather in it. Anyway, so
we'll
so
link there.
next one. Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Yeah.
So the next one I'm talking about is a very different type of fragrance in that Brioni is known for being very sophisticated, elegant clothing, and that comes through in the fragrance. I've always loved Brioni as a brand, and this one is called Suave, and it couldn't have a better name. It's absolutely glorious. And of course, there's cardamom in here, and I love a
Yeah,
fragrance with
it really
cardamom.
comes through.
It really does, doesn't it? So cardamom, it's
Citrus, got a bit of
yeah,
uplift.
yeah. And apparently it's going to make you feel more confident. I'd wear this myself though.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's still got that freshness, but the softness in it as well. Maybe that comes from the
Very
sandalwood base.
sophisticated. Yeah,
Yeah,
just like the
absolutely.
brand. Yeah.
And interestingly, some of the same notes in those two fragrances, but very different
So
smells.
different. So different.
Exactly. Um, uh, yeah,
Beautiful.
fantastic. Right. Now I'm going to go on to something that when the perfumer, who is called Jean-Christophe Hérault, created this fragrance 14 years ago, I don't think he would have any idea how successful it was going to be. It is Aventus by Creed.
You you're talking about.
Creed, as so many people know, is just synonymous with style, taste, classic, and I was amazed to know that it was originally British. I always thought it was French, but many years ago, I realized it was British. And it's seventh generation perfumer and is absolutely incredible. And when worked with Jean-Christophe to create this, and it is a classic. It's a classic in many ways, but it's also one of the best sellers. And I wonder if it's the ambergris in the base that does that, because it's
Could
again a
be.
bit, yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's
there's
a modern cologne, isn't it? It's really got a
and
cologne feel to
I
it.
think you're absolutely right, and it makes it much more contemporary than maybe some of the others. And I wonder if it's the black currant in the top note as well, which gives that little bit of fruitiness in the top.
It's,
Yeah, it could be. And pineapple, that's the other surprising ingredient for me when I smelt it. It's incredible, but classic notes with a little bit of a twist. Aventus is a bestseller, and
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
Not surprised
No.
in the least. So you're going to do Edeniste, Oud Ghazal.
Edeniste, Oud Ghazal. Right. This is it's got a black cherry accord in the top, which I find really fascinating because when I went to the launch, I couldn't smell the black cherry at all. But
That's interesting.
yeah, no, you can't. I could
Right, okay.
had to get my head round. It's got this black cherry accord in it, and I can pick it out now.
Right, smell it in half an hour because I sprayed my
Yeah.
blotters half an hour ago and I can smell the black cherry and I couldn't when I first sprayed it.
There you
Isn't
go.
that
That's the
interesting?
key, isn't it? So it just shows that these fragrances do change over
And that's
time
why you
and
should never
change.
buy.
Yeah, changes on your skin
Yeah.
as well. Now, I must admit, I have had this for quite a while, and I wore this Christmas Day because it's opulent, it's fun, it's very celebratory for me, this fragrance. And it's also the extra special thing. It's got that de-stress accord that Edenists have in all their fragrances, exactly what you needed, or I needed Christmas morning.
I bet you did. So that's us kind of touching on the Middle Eastern, but with that de-stressing element within it, and I'm imagining sand and fabulousness of the Middle
It's
East.
incredibly
But
complex, this fragrance. It's got so many things in it. It's by a wonderful young.
did anybody ask about it?
Sorry?
Did anybody ask about it when you wore it on Christmas Day?
Yes, obviously. It's always a topic of conversation in our house. What are you wearing today? Always. But it's a fabulous young perfumer called Claire Lejeune who created this. One to watch, Lorna. We'll keep a close eye on what she gets up to.
We did something on her, didn't we, in one of the magazines?
The magazine, one of the magazines she's working on. It's very interesting.
Yeah, we need to actually, we'll maybe put that up at some point. Now, the next one, we're going right across the world. We're going to Australia. And we're going to the wonderful Goldfield and Banks with Mystic Bliss. And the first time that Alison and I smelt this was about a year ago, just around a year ago just now, when we got a sneaky peek at Aix-en last year. And
Yes.
Dimitri had only one tiny sample that I was privileged enough to take with me. I had it before anybody in the UK. I was so pleased with myself. Isn't that sad? I know. Right. Never mind. So what it is, it's called Mystic Bliss. Yeah. So there's a mesmerizing mystery about this fragrance, and it's supposed to be the Australis Borealis. Did I say that correctly? Maybe not, but it's the Aurora Borealis in Australia, basically. What Dimitri Weber does very, very cleverly is working with people that actually work on the indigenous flora and fauna, and why his fragrances are always really, really unusual. It's one of the best-selling brands I know in most of the stores in the UK now, because it's always a little bit different. I love this.
This is great. And it's got blackcurrant in the top, and then this amazing Kunzia flower, which is a new one on me. And it's harvested down on the Flinders Island, just down in near Australia. And apparently the skies are huge there. And this is what this is all about. It's huge open spaces. And another fantastic perfumer that I hope we see more of is Florian Gallo, who did.
Absolutely. Yeah, very, very good. So no, Dimitri really chooses great perfumers.
Oh, yes, very clever.
Under his direction. Yeah. Right. I'm going to another classic next. And sometimes when people have to revisit fragrances, sometimes I'm a wee bit skeptical and think, not quite as good. This is an exception. Lacoste Original. And it is, 60 years? It's a long, long time since they did the original. Yeah. It's 40 years ago. And it just, when you spray it, if you're just spraying it, smell it immediately.
Yeah, I mean, I've got all my blotters ready, Lorna.
Yeah, I know. Well, that one, it just explodes out the bottle, doesn't it? Of freshness. And you really I feel as if I'm just coming out the gym have I ever come out the gym? No, no, no. You know, when you come out the shower and you got all fresh and everything. Well, this is me dreaming of coming out the gym, what it must feel like. One day I'll find out. Anyway, it really is amazing because it's actually it's a bright fougere, which fougere is a kind of what we put it into a family where there's classic notes that makes it our fougere. Very classic, but again, very contemporary. So for me, this is actually better than the original, although it's called Lacoste Original. It's inspired by the original Lacoste. Fantastic. Now,
And
I'm
again,
going
very
all
unisex, even though it's men.
Oh, yeah.
To wear
Yeah.
this happily.
Yeah. You don't even need to be sporty to wear it because I wear it. Anyway, I'm flying all over the world with these fragrances because that's what fragrance does to you. It takes you on a journey. The next one we're going to talk about, oh gosh, I love this. It's just, right. When I smelt this, the first time I smelt it, I was transported. We used to have a house in Molton on the Côte d'Azur, just between Monaco and Italy. And in the summer, they used to bring all these amazingly beautiful and skillful Arab horses to perform in a ring and everything. And this smell takes me back. It's horse racing horses, but you can smell the leather. It's just sensational.
So you are talking about Maison Crivelli Oud Stallion.
Oh yes, it would help if I told you what it was, wouldn't it?
I knew what you were talking about from your description,
From my description. I get blown away by Thibaut Crivelli.
Yeah.
Thibaut Crivelli is unusual for me in that he what it's circumstantial sense he does, in that it's a moment in time or a smell in time or a place. And he creates that moment and he manages it every time. And this one is exactly how I feel about that. You can just imagine yourself being somewhere, smelling this and doing it. But there's always a twist, and this is just, I mean, there's nutmeg in there, which I didn't know to start with, bitter clementine, there's Turkish rose, there's jasmine, cinnamon, saffron. It's just fantastic. Love it, love it, love
It's
it.
just lovely. It's really intense and deep and takes you down there. But I mean, talking to Thibaut about all his fragrances, and he was telling me that he went to the races one day. He's a very keen horseman, and he was at the races, and he takes this sort of snapshot in his head, and that's what he tries to create in all his fragrances. But this one he was at races for, and it is just, you have got that leather. It's almost the sweat of the horses as well, and the excitement of the crowd.
Yeah,
You
that's quite
somehow feel
essential as
that.
well.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I love it. I absolutely love it. And do you know it really also helps that he's a really nice guy
Oh, he's
and
lovely.
so humble for having created this amazing brand
Yeah.
of Crivelli fragrances. He's so humble and listens, and mind you, I don't stop talking, but he really he engages with you when you talk to him, and not everybody does, and I respect that because he's a busy person, but he's got time for everybody, and I like that.
Yeah.
So, right. Oh, here's another lovely family. Ruth Mastenbroek and Nick,
Yeah.
who's now following in his mother's footsteps, creating it. And I think, did they just do this together?
I think they did, or I think
Yeah.
Nick was the lead perfumer on this. So this is London Dusk. So what this fragrance is designed to do is to get you ready for your night out. So you could be sat on Hampstead Heath looking across London. So we've gone from Australia looking at the huge skies to London looking across the whole vista. So that's a really interesting thing to try and compare those two. And this is fantastic. It's elemi and a bit of coconut, which I find really interesting to use coconut in a fragrance to describe London, because it's not indigenous to London, but we use it so much in our cookery and everything now. You do see and smell coconut a lot, so it's really interesting and exciting fragrance.
I'm smiling because you're saying, you know, a bit like getting ready to go out. When I first smelled this and I kind of read the press release about it and everything, all I could think of was the Rocky Horror Show, and you know, when they kind of go and anticipation. And I just, yes, that's what it is. It's that excitement before you
Yeah,
go out. London Dusk, what's going to happen?
yeah,
And out you go to find the world. Yeah.
yeah.
And we should have done the other one first because it's, or that's maybe the next morning. So that was Mastenbroek's wonderful London Dusk. And the next one we're going to talk about is actually Memoize
Aurora,
Aurora.
which is the
Yeah.
sunrise.
Yes, exactly. So this is you just getting home, I suppose.
Yeah, 5 in the morning for you, Lorna, isn't it, generally?
Don't tell everybody.
Oh,
When I can.
this is your morning pickup, isn't it? Even if you aren't hungover, this is just a fabulous pickup, isn't it?
And it's
Huge,
that marine notes, there's some
fruity,
marine notes in there as well.
definitely, really
Yeah.
fruity and vibrant. Yeah, loads of fruit in this one, isn't there?
Rhubarb, pineapple, things like melon, and there's some cypress in there as well. But it's
Yeah.
got that lovely bass note. The Memoirs, Holly is a clever, clever girl, and she does it so well. She's always got that bass notes that keeps you again. They're all of the fragrances we've looked at, a lot of them have got addictive personalities and that you keep smelling it. And Memoirs is a brand like that. You know, I know I've got a rose fragrance from Memoirs and I keep smelling it. Keep going back to it. It's brilliant the way that she concocts it to make you keep wanting to smell it and other people wanting to smell it too. So,
It's
oh,
really
right.
haunting.
Then, oh, another addictive one is from Molton Brown. And sometimes Molton Brown, people think of Molton Brown sometimes as, you know, kind of light, fresh smells, but their fragrances are amazing. They've got eau de parfum and eau de toilette, and the it's really interesting what they've done. If you see where they're selling the fragrances, go in and have a search around with them because they're really interesting. This one is opulent and fabulous.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, I think this is terrific. It's woody. It's a woody
Yes. Yeah,
fragrance.
yeah,
So
yeah.
you've got their black pepper, which is
Yes.
very woody,
Yeah.
and I adore it. But I can understand why some people went, well, this is just a slight step back for me from that over
Yeah.
woody.
Yeah. It's softer somehow. And
Yes,
there's
exactly.
gold in there. I don't know how you smell gold, but it's
I
working for
know.
me.
That's
That's for sure.
interesting, isn't it? Well, I
Yeah.
wonder what they use for the
It's
garden.
I think, you know, is it daft to say that a perfume can glitter? That's the explanation. It kind of is shiny for me, you know, shiny and
Shimmery.
bright.
It's that
Yeah.
shimmer, isn't it?
It's
Yeah.
that
And
shimmer's
and it's
nice.
mesmerizing. It's called mesmerizing oud and gold. And
Okay,
that
of
is
course.
exactly,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's very, and a bit of honey. Is there a bit of honey? Yeah, there's a bit of honey in there. Can you smell it?
yeah.
It's
Yes.
lovely,
Because it
lovely,
is
lovely,
smooth.
lovely.
We're saying it shimmers, but it's got a smoothness to it as well.
Yeah.
It's
Mm.
very polished.
And okay, so the next one is from Oman Luxury. Now, this was a brand that I was introduced to last year, and try Paramour. Now, if you want, and I'm not saying that you have to be innocent and pure, but if you are innocent and pure, I'm not sure this is the perfume for you. This is a naughty smell for me. I love it. I think it's fantastic. But the quality that they have in their fragrances, they have absolutely gone to the top quality of ingredients for this. They've got it's a spicy ambery fragrance, and
A lot of rose, isn't there?
but you
Lots.
can feel the passion in this perfume. I know
Mm,
that sounds a bit mad too, but you can really, it's as somebody said, it's got quite an erotic edge, and I thought, yeah, right, it has. It's brilliant. It's
absolutely.
fantastic.
And now I don't know a huge amount about this brand. I'm hoping to find out a lot more.
Yeah.
But is this based on, is
Oh
it,
man, yeah,
yeah, but
yeah, but it's
am I,
got things
have they
like
got a jewelry collection? Do they do a lot of their fragrances based on?
I saw when I went
Yeah,
to the launch, they had pieces of ancient jewellery there, so I would imagine they have. I
that's,
don't know. I was just blown away by the quality of what they had and the different fragrances, although they were all of a similar ilk in many ways, but the actual quality was the thing that stood out for me in everything that was. The ingredients in this one, which are quite unusual put together, there's raspberry in it, there's grapefruit and saffron, you know, so that, and also there's caramel and tonka, so it's a little bit gourmandy, but it's not heavy gourmandy, sickly. It's so much more sophisticated than that.
Yeah.
Love it. Paramour. So lovely. Love.
Perfect name as well.
It isn't it? Absolutely. So oh, absolutely right. So oh, and then we're going to talk about we're still traveling around the world. We're going to Muscat.
Oh, we are.
Yeah, it's Muscat or Muscat. Well, I'm in France, so it'll be Muscat.
This is Ormonde Jayne.
Oh, she's so
I
clever.
love, yes, so Muscat, the port in Oman.
Yeah.
And this is just lovely. So all the things that were traded through the port, mainly dates. And I love date in a fragrance. I think it works fantastically well. It makes it really juicy and gooey and just.
There's a little bit of that date fig thing, trendy bit coming through the moment as well. It's beautiful, but there's nothing heavy about this, and that surprised me when I saw the wood. It's light.
Yeah, even though it's got that gooiness and juiciness, it's still light. Yeah,
it still makes you want to sit up and not go kind of into your shell.
Yeah, I've just sat up straight, look. Exactly.
Yeah. It's still a bit sensual though, isn't it?
Oh, very much so.
There's oak moss in this, which I do love, an oak moss. Yeah, very, very nice. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, now there was a wee bit of a fight about this one when we talked about Valaya.
There's no fight at all, Lorna. It's mine. You're not allowed to have it. Oh, I've only got
okay. But it's going down. It's going down. It's because actually it's one of my go-tos. I've got a shelf in my room that I can never share with anyone because it wouldn't be fair, of ones that it's like the non-working shelf. You know, sometimes I want to understand a perfume, I want to check it out now, but there's some that just because they're peculiar to me, but because I like it doesn't mean that you'll like it or somebody else will like it. So it doesn't matter what I wear, really. I can tell you about it, but it's more important that you try it.
I just want to say a massive thank you to Julian Sprecher, the creative director of Parfums de Marly. I did not know I needed this in my life. As you know, Lorna, I am not a particularly girly girl.
No.
But this is a very feminine fragrance and I love it.
It's a DD perfume. Do you know what that is? It's a deliciously delicate, wonderful interpretation. I mean, the white peaches in it, again, it's got that juiciness, but it's got the lightness, the delicacy, and it's very feminine. And look at this.
Oh, you've got the hair mist as well, so you can layer it up.
Oh, I'm full into both of them, but you know, I very kindly I was given them, so but it's something that I purchase myself because I love it.
This is absolutely.
What have we done? That's about 14 fragrances, isn't it? This is all in this.
And we've got a couple more to do. We've
got Merchant of Venice. Merchant of Venice.
Merchant of Venice. Now this is a really interesting fragrance, don't you think? I find it quite unusual. It's great. So this is Gold Regatta, and it describes the regatta on the Grand Canal of Venice. Where else? Of course, it's the Merchant of Venice.
If you're ever in Venice, you have to just think about this fragrance because it will actually work that way. It's brilliant.
Yeah. Now this is it's a Nola spray one, this one, so you do have to open this carefully.
Yes, I've done it.
I spilled all over my. But lovely. But a seaweed in there, so you've got the canal, the saltiness of the canal coming through.
Seaweed in a good way.
Oh yes, of course.
No, it's amazing.
Absolutely. It gives it a very interesting, point of view.
Yeah. So that's Merchant of Venice.
Yes.
Lastly, but not least, we have a brand called Buly, which has done heritage to contemporary brilliantly. They're in Selfridges. I don't know if they're available anywhere else in the UK, but you get a wee packet from them, and what you get in it is a lovely little hand cream, and this is called Oud Medine. So it'll be the Oud of the Medina. And if you're not sure about Oud, this is a great one to try because it's not a full in your face, heavy Oud. It's actually very gentle, very beautiful, and amazing ingredients in it again because the Buly do it. And you mentioned to me before you love it because it's not got alcohol in it.
No, no, no. And I must say,
Stabilizer.
I've got a different fragrance. I've got sorry, I've not got my glasses on.
Yeah, but you could, but it's one, but the 9 ml.
They're
The
no
9
milk,
ml.
and I don't know if anyone can see. Oh, it doesn't come out as a milk. I was expecting it to come out as a milk, but it
Yeah.
hasn't. It's
Well,
just
it's a little bit milky on my skin. Yeah, I've just
okay.
rubbed it in. So you'll get a 9 ml fragrance from Buly in the box as well. So you've got 15 fragrances and a little hand cream. I'm sure there's one in there that's going to be a next new love. But the reason we do this is actually to encourage you to smell to find what you do. And that's the reason we do our boxes. This one's £35, but you're not going to spend, 100, 200. I mean, fragrances are expensive now, but this allows you to try before you buy. And for me, that's what I've always done. When I was a buyer, I was able to try before you buy in the department. So I want to be able to give people the opportunity to do that in the comfort of their own home. Because when you do that, try it, leave it for a couple of hours, as I did with some of the fragrances, because they develop. And it depends on your hair coloring, your diet, your skin type, what you've eaten the night before. It will all be a little bit different. So that's our luxurious fragrances in a box.
And I think I will.
Yeah, that's one of my problems. It's
I
like
know.
choosing a child, isn't it? I've only got a child and a cat, so I love the cat. Oh no, I better not say that. Anyway, it's very nice talking to you. I hope we've helped somebody to know a little bit about it. And if you get any questions on the box or any of the other boxes, don't hesitate to get in touch with us.
Yes.
Thank you for watching.
Take care.
Bye.